Hello everybody, it is Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and in this video it's time for another classic video game gameplay video. Today we'll be taking a look at Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition for the PlayStation 2, as you can see on your screen right now. This game originally came out in April of 2005 for the PS2 as well as the Xbox, and I remember buying this game shortly after it came out on the PS2. So it's 2015 now, and just in a few months, it should be the 10-year anniversary of this game being released. So right now, we're just going through some of the Rockstar Games teaser clips, and now we should be going to the actual intro video for the game itself. I'm currently running this game at 1920 by 1080, using the PCSX2 PS2 emulator for Windows. I'm not going to show this whole video. You could go ahead and watch the whole thing somewhere else. But this was a pretty good game back in the day. It had quite a large car library, and you had, I think, 3 different worlds to race in. We're going to go ahead and skip it now. I do remember playing Midnight Club 2 quite a bit back in the day, and it had 3 different worlds to drive around in. You had LA, you had Paris, and you also had Tokyo. For the most part, this game runs quite well in the emulator. There are some issues with audio and sort of the performance here and there, but for the most part, it's definitely playable. So let's go ahead and skip this. You can see I do have a couple of saves from earlier. I had one yesterday for testing, one today. One of my recording had audio issues a few minutes in, so let's just go ahead and create a new profile. You can see that some of the keys on the keyboard are missing, but that's okay since it's pretty obvious where the keys actually are. Saving data to our virtual memory card, which you can actually remove if you go out of the game window and into the PCSX2 settings. Here we are at the main menu, and not a whole lot to see. Let's go into the options real quick. We do have controller mapping, so you can change the controls. I usually do like to turn the subtitles on because I like reading things, because you could read things a bit faster. We're going to turn the music volume down just a tad. And nothing else to really see there. And now we'll go ahead and start the career mode, which begins by go ahead and picking a starter vehicle.
I worked the engine with a new air intake, turbo, headers, and exhaust system. Then I dropped her.
You can see he's on a flip phone. Must have been the iPhone back in the day. Anyway.
Go to one of them Full Mechanics if you want to buy, sell, or
Full Mechanics? That's not a nice thing to say. Anyway. So the first thing we have to do is buy a car. We have $22,000 to spend on a vehicle. We're over at 619 Customs. So we have the Scion TC, we have the Mitsubishi Eclipse, the VW Jetta, Dodge SRT4, which I think is a neon. I think this was the first car that I got when I first got this game, and today I'm definitely not going to choose that car. I'm not a fan of the design. Let's just go ahead and pick the Golf R32. For a starter car, we can buy this Chevy Impala, or the Monte Carlo, but for a starter car, I would rather get something a little bit more modern. So we're going to go ahead and pick the VW Golf R32. Pick a different color first. Definitely going to go with red for now. One great thing about this game is that you can customize the cars quite a bit. You can change the front bumpers, the fenders, your wheels. They even have spinny rims, which I don't know if any other game had that except for this. And let's go ahead and exit the garage and go into our first race.
Welcome to Open City Racing.
Yeah, we'll just skip this. San Diego. Rites of Passage. I forgot what the 3 different worlds are for this game. Obviously, San Diego is one of them. So our first race is against a pink Mitsubishi Eclipse. Hopefully it should be pretty easy to beat. And here we are. Some issues with the audio, and my frame rate isn't quite as high as I wish it would be. It's definitely not as high as it was in the past. You can definitely see that the timer in the upper right corner isn't counting up in real time. A little bit disappointing. Might have something to do with my recording software, which I'm using Fraps so I can get compressed recordings, but without Fraps my performance is definitely a bit better, but it should be okay for this little demonstration video. So the triangle on the controller lets you change the view. For now I'll pick the one that's the furthest away from the car. Alright, so L2 looks behind you. As far as physics are concerned, it does seem, obviously it doesn't really compare to even today's more modern driving games, even the more arcade driving games like The Crew, for example. The cars are just very grippy, they're extremely over-responsive, and I guess that's what you would want in a game that's tailored to a lot of different people, rather than just people who are looking for good physics and things. So we just finished our first race, and the other cars are coming in right now. There's second place Bishop, and here come the other two. Looks like the Mitsubishi finished last, which would be in fourth place. There she comes, ramming the other car. So of course we finished first, which means we got $800, and we have a total of $1050, saving data. And we'll go ahead and just continue on with the career mode.
Hey Holmes, when the races become available, you'll get hit with a message on the screen. Pressing the select button will bring up...
Okay, let's go ahead and skip that for now and see what we have next. I'll probably do a couple more races, or at least a little bit of free roaming, just to see what's around. And you see the textures slowly loading. And alright, so here we're in front of Petco Park, Fox Soccer Channel. I didn't remember this game having real sponsors before, but apparently it does. I have no idea what he just said. It must have been important, so let's go ahead and see our map. So it's not the largest world in the world, but you do have two other ones. You can see in the upper left, you can change the cities. So we have Atlanta, and we have Detroit. So San Diego, Atlanta, and Detroit are our three cities to play. So it looks like I have to go over to one of these guys and race them. Actually, I'll set the one that's furthest away just so we could drive a little bit longer. Race one of three. He drives a 78 Monte Carlo. Let's go ahead and change the songs. Alright. It does not give us a distance. Vanessa is looking for a challenger. So just like the other guys, you could just select them and target them on your GPS. As you can probably see and hear, this game is sometimes running at full speed, sometimes it's not. It's kind of annoying. I definitely think it's because of my recording software. I did that first race that we just did yesterday without recording, and it didn't have any impact on the actual performance of the game itself, so that must be it. I should probably look into using OBS for recording, since it is, since it is a little bit more lightweight than this. It's funny, we were actually moving forward a little bit. Restart cruise. You really can't just put me back onto the road. That would have been much more practical, but oh well. Alright, let's try that again. You know, I'm not really too much into rap now, but this game had some pretty popular songs from back in the day, so it's kind of nice to hear them again. Pretty sure YouTube might have a problem with that. It's an automated content ID platform, might have issues, but oh well. Just helping the artist out anyway by having everybody listen to the song for a little while. Set the race as a target. Let's make a left turn here. I can't remember if this game had daytime at all. I think it had only nighttime, hence the game Midnight Club. So that was a little bit of a dumb thing to mention. I think Midnight Club 2 is definitely 100% nighttime. So I am using the analog sticks for accelerating and braking, as well as the left analog stick for steering, just to have a little more accuracy and sort of some more precise steering and control of the car. And here we are coming up on, well, we're in a military base, but we are coming up on Carlos. And just made a right turn. He did not stop at the sign. Where's the MP to come and get him? Press circle to start. Now I have to follow him, and we're going to go to the start point for the race. I think this is pretty much how the mechanics of Midnight Club 2 worked as well. Once you find somebody on the map to race with, you just have to flash your lights and then you'll follow them to the start point for the race itself. So when you follow right behind somebody, it fills up your draft meter, and when you hit R2, you can get a little boost from your car. I think this game does make it so that if you're going slow, the AI will go slow as well. And then if you're going super fast, the AI will all of a sudden speed up as well. I think Midnight Club games Need for Speed games are a little bit more obvious when it comes to this, but I do think that this game has that as well. There may have been some difficulty settings in the settings itself, but I don't remember seeing that. Then again, I didn't go through every option that this game happens to have. I think I'll finish this race as well as one more, and then I'll call it a day for this video. I got here way before the other guy did. It's funny how the game didn't actually wait. So this is race 1 of 3 with Carlos. It's a regular circuit race in career mode, and we do get $600 for... I don't know if I get $600 for finishing or just winning. Red versus green versus a couple more classic cars. Looks like there's another, I think that's a Jetta right there. So we're on the highway this time. I remember playing Midnight Club 2 in Paris, and I usually spent most of my time on the freeway, going through and around cars just to see how long I could go without hitting one. The game is definitely not running at full speed. This is pretty bad. I bet as soon as I stop my fracture recording, it'll go up to full speed. Of course, I also have the graphics settings for the emulator itself turned up all the way. It's an emulator, it's not a full-on PS2, so you can't expect it to get that great of performance when you're doing these types of things, even though I am on a fairly high-end PC. Anyway, I think for the next PS2 video I'll set the video plugin to DirectX 9 instead of DirectX 11, since I don't think there's any real visual difference, but there should be a performance improvement by going with DirectX 9. Of course, I could set it to the software renderer, but it's limited to the native resolution of 600 something by 400 something, so it's not really the best looking thing in the world unless you want to stick with standard definition content. So unlike the first race, this race has 5 people as opposed to 4. Performance picked up a little bit, now that there's not too much in view, and then as we get back towards the city, it will slow down just a bit. So this race probably takes 1.5 times longer than it actually should. There is not a checkpoint counter, so I'm not sure how long this race actually is. I'm not sure if the loading screen happened to say something about it, but as you can see, I'm definitely ahead of everybody else by quite a bit. So back to the handling, I think that there are mobile racing games that are much better than this in terms of handling, so I think that if they really wanted to, they could bring this game to mobile and it'll probably sell a lot of copies, and it might actually be a pretty fun title for mobile devices. And we're just going down the freeway in San Diego again. One of the reasons I'm into this game is that I like open world driving games where I don't have any limits as to where I can go. Of course, the first games that come to mind would be Test Drive Unlimited, because you have a huge world and you can go wherever you want with your vehicle. I also like Just Cause because the worlds are huge. The Grand Theft Auto games are great as well. I was staring right at the truck, but I thought I might have been able to fit under it. There's a TI billboard up there that we just went by. But yeah, I really do like open world games because you have the freedom to go wherever you want. You're not limited to where you can go. And I think that's a little bit fitting considering some of the other things that I like. I like T-Mobile because you get unlimited data. You have no limits as to what you can do. It's really nice to have that capability. I think I'll definitely do one more race. I'm kind of enjoying this right now, aside from the performance slowdowns, but once we got to the pier here, it definitely kicked up in terms of frame rate and overall playback speed. I finished first, which was obvious, and we got $600. Our total is $1650. And my car's the only one with damage, which is a little bit hard to believe, but let's go on to the next race, race 2 of 3.
Looking to get a little more launch from a stop, huh? What about some burnout? By holding down the handbrake and the gas, you'll smoke your tires.
So handbrake is R1. Lamborghini in that video, Corvette.
Great for getting out of trouble, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, dog. I might as well finish off the third race as well, just to, complete the 3. El Cortez Dash. It's another ordered race. I think the last time I said it was a circuit race, but it was just a point A to point B race. But yeah, I forgot that your cars can have hydraulics in this game, which is kind of cool. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas does as well. Didn't hold the handbrake button enough in time, so I didn't get a boost. Just remembered right before the race actually started. Looks like we're getting 50% speed. It takes 1 second for the timer to go up by half a second. Yeah, so this is definitely a point A to point B race. There aren't checkpoints like in the other one, like in the other races. As you can see on the map, there's only one waypoint right there. Everybody else is going a different route. I'll have to see if I can get there first. So the position just went up to 2nd, 4th. Actually, not sure where I'm going. Okay, so I see it on my map, and it looks like I definitely lost this one. One person finished. I think we'll just go ahead and finish this one off. If I don't win, then that's fine. Hopefully winning 2 out of the 3, assuming I win the next one, is good enough. So I am dead last. How about that? 13 seconds behind the first place person. No money at all. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to... Oh, looks like we have to restart it. I think going to the bumper cam to where your car isn't in view anymore helps a little bit in terms of performance. So I'll just leave it like this for a little while. freeway for a little while. Now make a left onto this street. Blasted right through that tree, and I think we're on the right road. Yep, there is the checkpoint ahead. And a little handbrake to do a little slide going into the checkpoint, and that was 5 seconds faster than the finisher in the last race. $700 for $23.50 total. Now let's go ahead and go to the third race of 3. This time the prize money is $900. Ordered race. Guts to Glory with Carlos in his green Monte Carlo. Getting airtime. Alright, so it's the final race with a song that I remember listening to in this game quite a bit. Another track by Twista called Sunshine, I think. Yep, Twista featuring Anthony Hamilton. So let's go ahead and do this one. This time we do have checkpoints to go through. Here is the first one. Let's go under the freeway this time, over the river right there, and let's make a right turn since we have to. Looks like the other guys took a shortcut. Currently in 5th place. I should be able to get by all of them though. Stay right behind this guy, draft a little bit, and R2 boosts, and let's not go right into the gas station, which we just did. And we exploded. I think your car can explode if you hit a gas pump in Midnight Club 2 as well, so it's nice to see that little feature that they added. Hopefully this race is a little bit longer than the other 3 that I've done so far, just so that I can try and catch up. That was a last second decision right there to take this shortcut. It was going to be a shortcut if I didn't hit the wall. I can't remember if the motion blur was in the released game or if this is something that my emulator is doing. So if you look at the lights on the lampposts, it looks like there's a blurring effect to it. I think that was in the original game, but I don't really like it. In most games that have a motion blur setting for the PC, I usually turn that off, or at least I lower the effect a little bit. So we're up to 3rd place from last, which is not too bad. No nitro to use in this car, unfortunately. Nobody to draft behind for a moment. 2nd place, and the song is definitely slowing down, moving away from the tall building, so I should be able to... Well, he has a wheelie bar in his car. That's funny. So somebody just ran into a light pole. Cruise ship on the left, some sort of tower up there on the left as well. So we're going through a shopping center. Going back to the city, so the frame rate should dip a little bit. Here we are at the finish in 1st place, at least 3 seconds ahead of the 2nd place guy, just about 3 seconds. And our reward is $900. We're up to $32.50. American Royalty Car Club challenges you. New flame vinyls have been shipped to the garage. New rims. Those were always the awards I was looking for the most, the wheels. Because I think it took quite a while to unlock the spinny rims. So whenever I unlock wheels, I always go to the garage to see which ones I've unlocked. And let's just go see what we have to customize the car with. Maybe I could do a second video where we progress a little bit and I can upgrade the car in the future as well. Alright, so customized vehicle, of course. Performance, actually, let's go to the visual shop first and see what we have to use. Pretty sure that would be under body shop. Let's go to wheels first. So unfortunately we can't even see a preview of some of the wheels that we don't have locked yet. It's a little bit unfortunate. No prices for them either. I probably should have gone in the other direction, so we'll just start over. 480 bucks for those. Classic streetcar wheels, I think. A little bit too pricey. I think I'm going to hold off on the wheels for now. Quite a few unlocked already. Darn. So those are our current wheel choices. Don't need to modify anything else. Let's see what we can do for the front bumpers. And I'll pass on most of those. And that about does it for this video of Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition for the PlayStation 2. Definitely going to look into getting into more of these types of videos that I used to do in the past. I have a whole list of games that I've had in a Word document for quite a while to go through, and I'm definitely going to start going through those. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback about this or anything else, feel free to leave those down below in the comments area. But that is it with the video, so thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.